For problem 1, for the college baseball outfielder, what modes of exercises are appropriate for this athlete? I said upper body plyometrics and upper body strength training. And if plyometrics are chosen, what tests should be performed to determine the athlete's readiness for the upper body plyometrics? We need to make sure that he's strong enough and has a good base strength before continuing into plyometrics. He has good flexibility, and that he has good technique with certain exercises. So breaking down the exercises that you want to perform one step at a time to see if he's ready to do it. And also balance would be a good thing to test as well. Appropriate design variables, I would say that he should try higher intensity exercises with lower repetitions. It really just depends what time of the season they're in. Lower reps will help. Higher intensity, lower rep will help produce more max power for singular throws during the game. Frequency, upper body plyo, you want like just 2 times a week, minimum of 42 to 72 hours between, and more of a 1 to 10 work to rest ratio, because you're doing higher intensity stuff. As for the volume, he's a collegiate athlete, but I would consider him more of an intermediate because of the lack of power that he has at the beginning of his plan, but you could increase him more just because he's already used to high training load in college. So I'd say around 100 to 120 contacts per session. For his program length, the standard plyometric program is 6 to 10 weeks, but you might be able to modify it to be shorter since it's just an upper body plyometric goal. And a couple examples of plyometrics that you would perform are plyometric push-ups, overhead medicine ball throws, depth push-ups, and single arm throws. And as for resistance training exercises, we talked about bench press, making it like more of a timed explosive movement, so faster concentric and maybe a slower eccentric, and doing perhaps a dumbbell instead of a barbell for arm and core stability, and lots of just single arm exercises like single arm dumbbell press and single arm shoulder press, and like farmer's carries for forearm strength. For problem number 2, the exercises that would be appropriate for the volleyball athletes would be upper body plyometrics paired with lower body resistance training, as well as upper body resistance training and lower intensity lower body plyometrics. It's important that these athletes still perform plyometrics during their season to maintain landing technique, jumping height, but it doesn't have to be super intense because of the high volume that they already perform, but it'll help them prevent injury and maintain the strength, speed, and power. They should focus their plyometric training during the off season because they're already super high volume and there's no reason to increase it anymore. And examples of the exercises include depth jumps, box jumps, band assisted jumps, medicine ball throws, and power skips.
All right, problem 3. High school coach wants a new strength coach to kind of watch her athlete perform some plyometric drills. And when they perform their drills and the strength coach kind of notices it's kind of crappy and poor, and so you want to know what kind of suggestions should the strength coach make to the coach regarding how the drill should be performed. Well, first and foremost, this is a high intensity movement, so maybe shifting to a lower intensity movement and then working their way to the depth jumps. They should start with the drop freeze to work on landing mechanics or even just lowering the box height. The coach should walk them through step by step on what they need to do. Technique for a depth jump is super important. Break it down a little bit, give them piece by piece, have each of the athletes do the exercise step by step, and have the coach watch and monitor and comment when necessary. If these athletes cannot perform the depth jumps correctly, even after this, test their balance skills and regress to resistance training, such as back squats, to work on their form and then progress back to plyometrics.